Hey, what is up you guys? It's EJ. I am back again with this new video. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be reading serial killer fanfiction. Now, I feel like this video is going to be very controversial and people are probably not going to be happy that I'm making this video, but I think I like to just make fun of the craziness that is some people. In what world? What is in your head when you're thinking about loving these serial killers? It kind of makes me worry for some people, but you know, you love what you love, and I'm not saying that it's okay, but I can't do anything about it. I've been watching a lot of serial killer videos lately, like the backstory and how they became a serial killer. I decided to go on a little Tumblr and look up some fan fiction. The last video I watched on a serial killer was about Richard Ramirez, and you know, he just does whatever a serial killer does and like commits crimes. Says, say you love Satan, and has a pentagram on his hand. You know, there's a Rob Dyke video that you can watch all about him, so I don't need to go into detail. But anyway, I have read before that there are actually people out there who are in love with serial killers and terrorists, and they write about them and have blogs dedicated to them, and I was like, that's not true, that's crazy. And then I see screenshots, and then I actually go on Tumblr and I see it, and I'm just like, help us, Lord. On to the fan fiction. It's obviously about Richard Ramirez, that's his full name. This blog is run by a 15-year-old. We're gonna get into it. It's called Rehabilitation, and in parentheses it says long, which means that this goes on for a while. And I think this is the only one I'm gonna read because I'm actually like weirded out. I'm gonna get into character, gonna do this the right way, as if, you know, I'm crazy in the head. You're all by yourself in your cheap, low-down apartment. Low down? Low down. I'm trying to think. Cleaning up the mess of a bedroom Richard left. You were extremely happy he was finally out of prison. You could now have a normal, healthy relationship. First of all, I'm pretty sure he had like a life sentence when he was sentenced to death. Like everything that he did, I don't think he'd be able to get out of prison. And then normal, healthy relationship, like, I'm sorry, what? But you were even more excited that he was going to one of those local rehabilitation centers. By the way, this person likes to really utilize italics and bold font and quotation marks. So rehabilitation was in italics, which I'm thinking like, is he really going to a rehabilitation center? Is he, or are you just... He hated going to the sessions, but it was government mandatory. Every time Richie came home from one of the sessions, he would always slam the door a little harder than usual, then sit on the couch, and that was your cue to grab him a beer from the fridge and walk over to him and sit on his lap while he ranted about his day. I mean, I feel like there's nothing really to do when you're a serial killer. Like, doesn't he just want to kill people all the time and be violent? But I don't know what else a serial killer does. He was such a reckless guy, but you loved him to the core. That was in italics. Core is in italics. You knew he loved you too. He constantly would tell you how important you were to him. Whenever you guys were watching TV or just talking, he would always have some sort of contact with you. Not in a sexual way, ellipses, all the time, but more in a softer way. He isn't at all a soft man at all. That was redundant. He isn't at all a soft man at all. Girl, no. I'm not an English major. I'm not an English professor. I'm not an English teacher. But learn how to, like, you know, not do that. Except when it was about you. This was his way of showing love by not being hostile. You love the idea of seeing him after a long day of work. He works 6 days a week, but then works 5 days every other week, meaning you saw him a little bit in the morning, but after 7 p.m. on Friday, he was all yours until Monday. I don't know how to say the italic one. Monday. I'll just do it like that. Like a decrease. You know what I mean. And you were thrilled about all this free time you will have with him, but when you are alone with him for a few full days and he hasn't gone outside to the public, or when he misses a few days of therapy, you suddenly get a sick feeling. I don't know why that sentence really annoyed me. There was a worry and coldness in your chest instead of safety and warmth. You knew exactly why you felt this way. You just didn't want to accept it. You have these feelings? Do I have these feelings all the time? Is this a normal occurrence? I don't understand. Constantly having night terrors of this horrible fear you have of your lover, your soulmate, Richard. The fear of Richard strangling you while you slept, or when you guys would get in your usual heated arguments and instead of him just throwing things at the walls, he throws one of the many empty beer bottles lying around the house at your head, leaving you there to bleed out. That's not normal. That's not normal. You constantly had these nightmares, and when you would awake from these terrors, you'd be covered in a thin sheet of sweat, while Richard would hold you in his lengthy arms, wiping off the sweat on your forehead, whispering in your ears, half awake, saying, "It's okay, baby. I'm here. No one is going to hurt you. I'm here." That would honestly creep me out more than anything. Knowing he's a serial killer, that would creep me out. Even though you knew in your head he wouldn't ever think about hurting you, but you felt incredibly guilty for feeling this way. But it's in his nature to have his killer instincts. Literally, this is the only reaction I can have to reading to this, is just somebody help this person. It is a Friday evening and you're sitting on the couch drinking a glass of cheap Walmart boxed wine while watching Teen Mom reruns. Nobody watches Teen Mom anymore, and there's nothing wrong with boxed wine. So don't even say it's like cheap Walmart. Like, you're 15. You've never even had a sip of alcohol. But then again, I'm generalizing. So maybe you have, but there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's not your preferred taste, but don't bag on it because you don't like it. Your phone vibrates and it is a text message from Richard. "I'll be home soon. Got out early and there is no session today. More alone time for us." That makes me feel sketch. So sketch. Deep in my heart, deep in my face. Like, reading that text, I would have been like, "Oh, gotta get out." Panic struck your heart as you waited for Richie to get home. Time was going by incredibly slow, but that all changed when you heard the doorknob turn. He always had a huge smile on his face when he saw you. He throws his key on the left side of the couch and sits down next to you. He asks about your day as he lifts you up and he spreads out his legs so you can lay your head in his lap in a comfortable position while he plays with your gorgeous hair. So he picks you up and then he spreads out his legs and lays your head down on his lap and plays with your gorgeous hair. So when he lifts you up, does he only lift up your head? Were you laying down when this all happened? When he came through the door and saw you? Or did he lift like your whole body up, but then put you down, and then when he sat down, he spread his legs and then put your head on his lap? I just need to know the specifics because that confused me. Your heartbeat was speeding up more and more every second he was touching you. You quickly sat up and you felt so scared. You spoke very shakenly. Didn't really do anything. "Are you hungry?" "Oh, yeah, sure." Why did that have to be in italics and in bold? Why am I doing this? I knew he heard the sound of fear in my voice. He was a pro at knowing these things. Well, no duh, he's a frickin' serial killer. You got up off the couch and walked into the open kitchen. You washed your hands and reached for the thin spaghetti noodles on the highest shelf, but you felt Richie's warm body has already beat you to the box of noodles. Is he like overheating? How do you feel it? Unless he's like right behind you. Like, he reached over your shoulders with one hand and placed his other hand around your waist. Oh, okay. This startled you and you quickly turned around with a loud and short, Ah, what in parentheses? This is in parentheses. Wasn't a scream, but it was more of a startled sound. What does that mean? Like, wasn't a scream, but it was more of a startled sound, like ah, or ah, or ah, like. I know you're trying, but like I don't get it. He noticed how jumpy you were acting. Are you okay? You've been really acting effing funny. He takes a couple steps back, and as he makes eye contact with you with a confused look, and your heartbeat skips a few beats. I've been really stressed. I'm fine. Like that's me every day, honey. And I'm not even dating a serial killer. That is a sentence I never thought I'd say. You never snapped at him because you were terrified of him actually snapping your neck. That's why you shouldn't be dating a serial killer or be in love with a serial killer. Why? Why did you have these thoughts? You felt your eyes begin to water. You were getting terrified of the idea of yourself ruining the relationship and your loving, aggressive boyfriend even harming you. That's not true. What the F is wrong with you? Your name? I'm not going to put my name because that's too weird for me. No thanks. He crossed his arms over his chest. He wasn't throwing anything, but you can hear the anger in his voice. Would you hear the anger if he threw something? That wasn't usual for him. He always threw things when you guys would get into a heated argument. That's bad. In a relationship. What is it? Why aren't you talking? You love to talk all the damn time. He was getting madder by the second. I don't feel safe. I don't want you to hurt me. Your eyes were wide by the surprise of your confession. Why did you feel this way? The guilt was eating you inside. Are you serious, your name? He has a snarl in his face while he was walking towards you, his fist balled. You were frozen still. He picks you up, throws you over his shoulder, and walks leisurely into the bedroom and throws you on the bed. Oh my god, this is getting sexual really quick, really fast. He's on top of you, angrily pins your arms above your head with one hand as he sits on your bottom half. That's uncomfortable. He can feel your goosebumps and your heartbeat racing. You have small tears running down your face. You ruined the relationship. Your fear is becoming a reality, is what you thought. Until Richard started tickling you with his other hand and nibbling on your neck. Oh my god. You felt his smile on your neck, and your fear, coldness, and terror turned into laughter, warmth, and happiness. Oh my god. I would never hurt you, your name, except when I am effing you now. Roll over. What's happening? Why am I reading this? He lets go of your arms and kisses your neck. You felt so silly for having your thoughts and fears almost ruin your great relationship. You just said he throws things when he's angry. That's not a good relationship. You're not mad? Of course not, your name. You're the only person that puts up with my dumb butt. I just don't need you to be scared of me anymore. That pisses me the F off. Then starts to suck on your neck. That's not in bold. I just wanted to say it like that. That was so ridiculous. You smiled because you were happy and felt safe in his arms. Now, let's have a moment of contemplation. What did I just read? What did y'all just listen to? I know. Very strange, very weird. I don't apologize for this video because it honestly makes me laugh so hard at how ridiculous people can be. I am sorry that you were never loved and that it made you cruel. Oh my god, I hate those! Those are things you make for like fictional characters that don't do terrorist crimes like these people did. Oh. Here's Richard Ramirez, a gif of him saying, "Hail Satan." Everyone makes him look so bad, you know. I know that he's a nice person because I've met him, and I know. He's convicted of 13 murders. I know, but he's actually a really nice guy. Like, oh my god! Some people in this world. Reblog if Jeffrey Dahmer should have gone to college and gone into real estate and got himself an aquarium. that's not going to solve his tendency for little boys and killing them and masturbating to their dead bodies. Like, that's not... No, just because he'll go to college doesn't mean that he... It's one thing to be fascinated with serial killers in the way that you were interested in how they became the way that they are and, you know, all the crimes they committed, but it's another thing to, like, be in love with them and, like, normalize what they did to people, write things and start things like blogs and make edits of them to make them look normal. You see what I'm saying? Like, I took psychology and I wrote a paper on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I was so interested in like what he did, because it's like from his background and where he came from and like how he became the way that he was. I was really interested in that. But I'm not normalizing and saying that what he did was right. I'm not trying to write things about terrorists and serial killers to make it seem like they're normal human beings, because they're not. They're not normal human beings. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. I just can't find like the infatuation of like creating blogs for these type of people and like normalizing what they did. Basically, that's all I'm saying. That's why when I read these, I'm like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I thought this was a hilarious video because people are so ridiculous and stupid. I don't know, man. If you didn't like it, that's fine. Like, honestly, serial killers are so interesting to me, but I wouldn't ever...
There's a Wikipedia article about serial killer. Would you like me to read it to you?
No. I just find serial killers interesting and their story and how they became a serial killer.